Imagine being 19 years old, freshly bathed, dressed in silk that doesn't belong to you. You were told this is an honor. You were never told you would not return home. The corridors are too quiet. Someone adjusts your sleeves. Someone lowers your eyes. Someone takes your name, not to record it, but to erase it. Behind a silk screen, you hear breathing, soft, controlled, powerful. You don't see her yet, but you already understand. This is not about desire. This is about access. And the woman waiting behind that curtain is not a consort. She is destiny. Her name was Wu Zetian, and history tried to erase her. This wasn't fiction. This wasn't rumor. This was policy. The woman behind the curtain was not an emperor. She was Wu Zetian. And what she built inside the palace disturbed history so deeply that historians chose to destroy her memory. But her story did not begin with power. It began with a girl. Year 624. During the Tang dynasty, she was not royalty, not an heir, just the daughter of a wealthy merchant from Sichuan. In a world where women's voices disappeared into mountains, while boys studied openly, she read in shadows. History, philosophy, strategy. Not for curiosity, for survival. At 14, she understood something most never learn. Knowledge is sharper than any blade. That same year, an imperial decree summoned her to the palace. She became a secondary concubine to Emperor Taizong. It was called an honor. In truth, it was confinement dressed as privilege. The palace was not romance. It was a machine. Hundreds of women waited years for one glance. Most were never noticed. Most vanished silently. But Wu did not wait. She watched. She studied power the way others studied embroidery. When the emperor died, tradition demanded she fade away. She was sent to a Buddhist convent. Silence, seclusion, erasure. But oblivion never came. At 26, she returned, not as a shadow, but as fire. She became consort to Gaozong, the son of the man who once owned her fate. Unprecedented, unforgivable, strategic. Rivals disappeared. The empress was demoted. Others were silenced. No public bloodshed, only absences. When Gaozong grew ill, Wu became his voice. She met diplomats, issued decrees, judged officials. The empire already obeyed her. In 690, she dropped the disguise. Wu Zetian declared herself Empress of China. Not regent, not co-ruler, sole sovereign. She founded her own dynasty, ruled nearly 2 decades, promoted talent over bloodlines, reorganized ministries, strengthened the state. But her most radical decision was not political, it was personal. She understood something dangerous. The body had always been political. Emperors had harems, thousands of women, no scandal. But when a woman mirrored that structure, it became outrage. Wu created what later writers exaggerated, a ceremonial office of male attendants, officially administrative, unofficially, a network of loyalty and intelligence. Men were chosen not just for appearance, but obedience, discretion, observation. They were instruments of information, not romance. Intimacy became surveillance. Desire became statecraft. History later called her immoral, not because she was cruel, but because she reversed the rules. And patriarchy cannot tolerate mirrors. As she aged, power shifted. The Zhang brothers rose, young, educated, strategic. They controlled access to her. They filtered decrees. They became gatekeepers. The court began to fracture. Rumors spread. Beauty became power, became threat. Wu refused to step down. She refused to fade quietly, and that frightened them more than her strength ever did. A coalition formed, not with shouting, but silence. One morning, the palace gates did not open. The brothers were seized, executed, displayed. Wu Zetian was forced to abdicate, not by swords, by documents, seals, ceremony. She died soon after. No grand mourning, no celebration, but something worse followed. Erasure. Records edited, names removed, institutions dissolved. She became the Empress of 3,000 lovers. A warning, a scandal, a monster. Her reforms? Minimized. Her governance? Ignored. Because the truth was more dangerous. She ruled as effectively as any man, and power has no gender. History does. Her tomb still stands. No inscription, no explanation, only silence. Was she a tyrant? Or a mirror male power refused to face? The question was never about desire. It was about comparison, and comparison was forbidden. History trembles when buried truth speaks, and Wu Zetian still speaks.